According to Zimbabwe's constitution, this is President Emmerson Mnangagwa's second and last term. He won last month's election with close to 53% of the vote. Mnangagwa says he'll focus on turning around the country's struggling economy as well as re-engage with others.
We stand ready to welcome those nations who want to work with the new ZANU-PF government to build lasting partnerships to make the world a better place. We look forward to joining both traditional and emerging global institutions who accept our hand of friendship.
But Mnangagwa's victory has been criticized by some international and regional election observers, saying the polls fell short of democratic standards. Nelson Chamisa, Zimbabwe's main opposition leader, is still calling for a new election, saying that the last one was rigged. But now that President Emmerson Mnangagwa has taken his oath of office, that looks very unlikely. Some regional leaders, including South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Mozambique's leader Filipe Nyusi, attended proceedings. The inauguration is done. That means election season in Zimbabwe is over.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? That's right. Emmerson Mnangagwa is president once again, but not without a lot of controversy. That seems to be the theme around these countries lately, rigged elections. So let's get into this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Plus, the president-elect has given some orders to some very specific minds that people should be paying attention to. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey, catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Middles, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. Like I was saying, when it comes to elections over there in Zimbabwe, it's not without controversy. Mystery injection of government critics may be serial poison plot. Opposition activists in Zimbabwe say they are being kidnapped and injected by regime thugs. They are terrified by what this unknown substance may be doing to them. In recent months, several opposition political activists in Zimbabwe have been abducted by suspected state security agents, tortured and jabbed with an unknown substance. Mysteriously, the injection appears to have no immediate impact on the victims, and fear is abundant that President Emmerson Mnangagwa's regime is infecting people with some toxic which might be killing them slowly. Opposition party Citizens Coalition for Change, which is led by Nelson Chamisa, has gone public to accuse state security agents and the ruling party of carrying out these injections. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to Zimbabwe. Yes, they're in the same situation as Iraq, but they are way further back than Iraq is as far as getting back on track. When it comes to corruptions, I don't know if anybody could beat these guys, but who knows? Their government is just littered with corrupt politicians, and that is one of the biggest issues with Zimbabwe. They take all the money, they enrich themselves, the politicians, and then the poor Zimbabwe people suffer for this. But here we go again. We just seen that President Emmerson Mnangagwa is promising to change everything and make a better economy. But right before election, I did a report saying that we're finding out that his opposition was being kidnapped, some of them killed, some of them beat up, tortured, let go. This is not what you want to see in the country. That's not stability. And you guys saw at the beginning of this video, and even though he won the presidency, already the opposition are calling for a new election. Just that quick. Right here, though, you can see this. Came to power with promises of sweeping political, social, and economic reforms. He is now seen as the worst leader than his predecessor, Robert Mugabe. This is the man who was removed from power in a military coup in 2017. Of course, he had all the citizens celebrating the fact that Mugabe is removed, but are now regretting supporting the military coup. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of that going around everywhere. Seriously. People jumping up and down, celebrating the Biden administration, winning the election, and it took them all but 1.5 years to turn those people that supported him against him and now want 45 back in office. So because of this type of crap that happens over in Zimbabwe, as you can well imagine, there are a ton of sanctions on Zimbabwe, making it hard for them to do anything with their currency. Now, I just spoke about this the other day. People are talking about, well, what should we be invested in during all these hard times? And I said, look, lithium refineries is going to be big. I heard this whole special on Elon Musk saying there aren't that many lithium refineries around the world. And because of that, if we're going to move into this so-called Green New Deal around the world, then that means you have to have lithium for the car batteries. And there's not that much out there, making it almost impossible, if not impossible, for people to move over to electric vehicles. Just not going to happen. So investing into lithium miners and lithium refineries is the way to go. Zimbabwe has given lithium miners up to March of 2024 to submit plans for the local production of battery-grade lithium in a bid to benefit from growing demand of the clean energy mineral, Finance Minister Nick said on Thursday. Now, I do think it's weird that before the election, he gave these miners an order to turn over their plans by March of 2024. I was wondering if he happened to know in advance that he was still going to be in office. You know, just throwing that out there, just saying. Africa's top lithium producer last year banned the export of lithium ore and has imposed a 5% export tax on concentrates. Lithium used in electric vehicle batteries and the store of renewable energy has become foreign currency, starves Zimbabwe's third biggest mineral export after palladium group metals and gold earnings $209 million in the first 9 months of 2023. And I know what you're thinking, because I thought it too. It's crazy how these people over in Zimbabwe continue to suffer and struggle while they live in one of the wealthiest nations in the world. I told you when it comes to resources, you know, the powers that be have a way of keeping corrupt politicians in office because they're easy to control. Just make sure they're rich and they'll make sure you get whatever you want. And what do they want? Cheap labor. And why is that? Because you have lithium mines over there, and lithium is used for car batteries. If all of a sudden they got their economy straight and their currency increased in value, this will make mining for lithium and refining for lithium really, really expensive. See where I'm going with this? The powers that be need the lithium for these batteries, and they don't want to pay an arm and a leg to get it. Zim is ripe for investment. Zimbabwe is endowed with a vast array of natural resources but lacks capital and technological expertise to fully exploit them. Addressing members of the UAE business community here on Saturday, where he was attending the 2003 United Nations Climate Change Conference, President Mnangagwa reinstated that Zimbabwe was open for business and invited investors to consider the vast opportunity in the country. Well, they do have a lot of uprising, and they have a lot of unhappy people. And if I was an investor and I was thinking about going into Zimbabwe, it would be hard not to flash back at when the nation went after white farm owners and started killing them and stole their property from them. Yeah, I don't need that type of uprising in the country I want to invest in. Just throwing that out there. The philosophy is that Zimbabwe is open for business, a friend to all and an enemy to none, he said. President Mnangagwa said Zimbabwe stood ready to welcome investors through the Zimbabwe Investment Development Agencies, which offered seamless process to register and do business. He said there was an array of fiscal incentives that stood to benefit investors who chose to do business in Zimbabwe. Strategic investors could also be granted national project status with the associated concessions. So if you think about it, the very same issues that we have over there in Iraq, although Iraq is much, much further along, In Iraq, their citizens have uprisings, but that's from time to time, unlike Zimbabwe. And although their politicians are corrupt, and they are corrupt, it's nothing like what's happening over there in Zimbabwe. So investing in Zimbabwe, buy the currency, throw it in the closet, wait and let's see what happens. Because they're far from getting their act together, in my opinion. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.